Right, Fambulem, I bring warm greetings to una from the TNN television media empire. Today, the 12th of June. This is not the middle part of the year. The 12th of June, 2022. Me where they talk to una this moment. I mean, Prince Emil Chroma. Obviously, we they hope for get a guest, very important guest, a man we understand the moment and the subject matter we want to talk about, which is all about statistics Sierra Leone, census, midterm census, one of the most controversial issues of our time. Unfortunately, we get difficulty for Brian come on because he is struggling from the end side they try for come on. However, we not to give up. It's supposed to be a 1 hour program where we will try for compress, for get the best out of him. But still, we dey have a hard time for Brian come on. But like I say again, we can't give up on him. Whilst I dey go on with the program, whenever I able for sign on and we able for Brian come on, then we go definitely we go Brian come on. I mean, we still dey try very much for Brian come on. The problem is, and if you dey watch me, you need for understand that before you dey try for connect to the system, the app, you get for make sure say your camera, because it's a video audio thing. Your camera is open, even yourself can see yourself, and because you dey expect people to for see you, and also your audio should be open and open source. So both of these things should be open, and then you can send me the request, tapping on the link, and then I go accept you in. I know say you don't try am about 3 times. I know exactly what to happen, and this na my advice to you. Make sure before you dey send the next you dey tap on the next link that A, your camera source is open. B, your audio source is open. Anyway, Fambula, let's get down to it. This is quite interesting because we want to talk about a midterm census. We want to talk about the legitimacy, look at the law, but I don't want to do this, in a single or in a monologue fashion, which of course is something I can do. But I've been expecting I go get me guests will go help me for let we talk about that. So the significance, and not only the significance, the legitimacy of the action itself. Um, census, midterm census. Here is the thing, Famulem. The generality of the census is waiting we don't come for understand. There is a title which they attach to the census, which most of us have come to know as the people's census. And there is a reason why they call them a people's census. I repeat, we get a reason why they call them a people's census. A people's census is so named about the census because it is the total involvement of everything, not only Sierra Leonean, but also people from the outside of the Sierra Leonean domain, where they support the process called the census. Unfortunately, this has not been the case. And I'm not playing politics with this. Fambulem, we know for them one then we obviously the position with regard to the platform and me in particular is, well, he belongs here, he belongs there. No, let we put aside our politics there. Let we look at this issue of midterm census from the raw perspective. What would you talk now? Despite how people can go and blame you or say XYZ, but we they supply the data, the analysis of why we they say what we they say, we conclusions them where we they arrive at, so that people them go able for look at this data where we dey supply and also run their own conclusions. So you not only get for take my word for it, but rather waiting at the available data. Anyway, back to midterm census. We census normally is based on a 10-year term. Every 10 year, as per the Constitution, 1991 Constitution of the Republic, we can visit that and we can decide for do a census for very good reasons. A, the population of the country may have grown, expanded significantly. And if we understand the expansion or the growth of the population as to how everything else is affected in one way or the other. For example, one thing we not can talk about is the consumer price index, if we call it the CPI. Some of the things that we would struggle with right now. The reason why it's necessary for know the number of people in terms of gender basis, in terms of age basis, and many more is really significant in a census. Now, make 10 years, we know say something significant cannot happen. And not mean say half of that term, we can't also look at the census, where we call the midterm census. But then we get forget justifiable reasons. And then reasons and they turn out for be political, in which we can use the political outcome or determine say the motivation behind why we dey call for this is based on a political outcome. We definitely go favor a side. We in this case they call for then there is a problem. I am not intimating that. I'm just saying. Remember, say one or two things what I just say, Mr. Bowie, if you dey listen to me again, you get for ensure say the gadget way they use, una forgive me if I'm bulema, they speak to we guest. We desperately they try for log on and when they look on to in log on, you get for understand say, and they see you where you click on the link where I send you for access this program for tonight because you're not the guest. But you can only come on, my dear brother, if you manage for connect your device where you they try for use. How do you connect this device? You get for make sure say your camera is turned on because the camera is quite important. It's a video audio program. So your camera get for be turned on for let the program itself accept you. So once you go to the link and I just the try for see whether I can help because from gadget to gadget, it is a little bit different. So before you they accept the link or when you accept the link, see the conditions then way it give you. With this case, you need for turn on your camera. You also need for turn on your audio. So if you dey use the same means where you don't use for the last 10 minutes or so, and it's not accepting you, you need for find a way around doing something differently because it's not going to accept you doing the same thing over and over and hoping that it will accept you. No, because there's something fundamentally wrong. So try for look at your application, look at your phone or whatever gadget you dey use. See waiting at the options the way it give you. They are likely all around you. Now you need for look. For example, look at your phone. If the phone you dey use, look at your phone in camera. Is it open? Is it an open source? Because it's got to be a video program. If it's not, it's definitely going to give you an option for let you click on that, your phone in camera. So you activate that, you activate your microphone, and hopefully we are game on. Anyway, Fambul, back to what you will say about the midterm census. Again, when I get for forgive me and massive apologies to Mr. Abdul Fatoma. It's supposed for count the program, Mr. Fatoma. If you watch tonight or you happen to watch the program later, you are definitely going to come on. We're going to bring you on. But you can see that we're not been getting any active program for the past 2 weeks and 3 weeks. They were repeated programs because Camara was he's only just returned. So it was only me airing this program. So most of them were repeated programs because you either get for go work or some other thing, some other obligation, some other effect, you knock you down. Like for example, as I talk today, I'm suffering from hay fever. This is not the summer season where I am, and I suffer heavily from hay fever. And but this program has to go on anyway, Famulem. There is no apologies about this. We did try for talk about the census, the midterm census. And we been get a statistician will be supposed to appear on the program. And hopefully we will get him because he don't make several attempts. Even as we speak, he's still making attempts for come on the program. So let we shape this program. Let we try for see whether we're able to bring other people them in. We get interesting times ahead of us. Anyway, back to the census. So we know say the 1991 Constitution did talk about when and how the census for Sierra Leone can be done, who is empowered for doing, and waiting the presidency, the executive branch of government representing this, along with the other two equal branches of government, A, the judiciary, B, parliamentary or legislature, some people can call them. And if we can add the third one, which in we own domain happen for be the most powerful, which is the executive, waiting at the responsibility, waiting they can then do. Okay, waiting they can then do. Family, this is important because things don't seem to appear for the goal the way how they suppose for the goal. This is not just ordinary politics, family. We don't say we get people them way already fixed in their ideas. We also like for blame other people and for say, well, the case way the other people they make is only because they belong to the opposition. That's why they case that. But this is not the case. If we were to scrutinize what people like us saying, it will appear for say it's a completely different text where we dey try for use for appeal to Sierra Leonean people for let we keep we minds open. Back again to the census, Famulem, the Constitution, 1991 Constitution of the Republic of Sierra Leone, clear on what the census mean and the period in which it can be conducted. So in other words, 10 years, every 10-year period, the census can be conducted. This counting of people, looking at what that count mean. Has there been growth in the overall population of the country? Where has this growth taken place? Other than are the people that will constitute the growth? Are they like women? Are they like men? Whose growth is focused? Waiting at the constitution of this growth, where is it? Is it in the south? Is it in the east? Is it in Freetown Central? Is it in Freetown Urban? And things like that. Then information there, and I will call data, and then data, now then the informant as to how government will, because many things are involved. So not just ordinary exercise, why the people's exercise or the people's census. Because bodies it is about the people. So expect the people to participate wholesomely in this particular effect, in this particular exercise. Fambulem would hope forget this man so that we were able to carry out this particular program here tonight regarding the census. One controversial issue with the ongoing in our country right now is that of the meetings. There are people who question the legitimacy of the meat census. There are people who hold suspicion as why some census is being conducted. People, when they say the people and we hold legitimate concerns as to why, first of all, the meat census was declared, and as to why to be the people and we get mentioned, they are completely right because it seems like it is a political move. Because first of all, tell we say the reason why the Republic of Sierra Leone is calling for a midterm census. Now, for correct waiting and see as wrongs of last census of the previous government. Okay? All fine and good. But this particular process, it involves the rule of law. Not so just because you're not happy with the way the last one was conducted, because it involved the participation of the component of a society. Okay? That now Mr. Gborie they try for join again. Unfortunately, Mr. Gborie, waiting I think say we go do, I think say I go get for call you on WhatsApp because this video is definitely not going up. Family, wanna bear with me a little bit. The video that they go on, we can like for bring people on via video. So let's see whether I'm able for call Mr. Gborie for 1 minute. Okay. Family, una bear with me, huh? He just send me a message and they try for listen to this message. Okay. Of course, it don't connect and they try for connect. So let me just call him via WhatsApp. Maybe we can conduct this interview via WhatsApp because we need for a invoice. And there are a lot of people we know invoice. Anyway, next time we will try for do better than we are doing already. Okay, we go try for do better than we are doing already. So the young man is here. You will need to connect the mic before you can add them. Mic and camera. Okay, let's just left him a message quickly. Okay, Mr. Gborie, I don't listen to your message. When you get this message, give me a call because most likely we might have to do this conversation, this interview, just on an audio basis. Forget about video. I know what your problem is. I can help to solve it, but because we not get alternative. Okay, that's him calling me. Mr. Gborie? Yes, sir, Professor. Yes, sir. Okay, so most likely, thank you for the many attempts where you make for try for connect and family and they listen to we. You are live. So there are two things. One, we can conduct the interview, forget about the video source. I can let the video source people and see the much way they talk. Your problem is, and I don't communicate this to you. Problem. I don't communicate this to you, and I want to let you listen to this quickly. Your problem, Mr. Gborie, is you gadget where you use where most likely now your phone as a suspect before you they click on the link or after you don't click on the link. And I should say it's before, but one of the two. You need for connect your microphone and your camera. And I should say the icon and then DD. So you need for tap on them for connect them. I don't think you've done that because that's what your problem is. I they see you where you they try for connect. I they see. But I can't bring you on because your microphone and your camera is not connected. So on your phone, if not your phone, you they use, look at your phone, look at your microphone, it's not connected. Tap on them for unmute them or connect them. Look at your camera, it's not connected. Tap on them and make sure say it's connected. When you don't try this now, if it not work, call me on WhatsApp and then we will conduct. Yeah. Sorry, say that again, please. Hello. Okay. Yeah, go on. You say? Okay. So let me repeat quickly. The one where you show live or the one where you show Mr. Gborie, which one? You know, say right now you did on the program, but because your camera and audio not connected, there's no way I'm going to be able to show you. So waiting at the say, right. Come out of the program. Listen one final time. Listen to this, please. Come out of the program one final time. But when you come out, look on your gadget where you use, where I believe say now your phone. Look at your phone in camera whether it is connected. Look at your microphone whether it is connected. If those two are not connected, I'm not going to be able to bring you on. Tap on the icons When you tap on the icons, you go able for activate them. In other words, tap on your camera icon on your phone, that automatically for give you access. Tap on your microphone, that for give you access, and try for tap on the link for the program again. That should give me option for bring you come on. If after you've done this, it not work, then we go get for conduct the interview quickly on WhatsApp. Is that okay, sir? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, you hear what I just say, sir? I'm with you, I'm with you. Yeah, okay. So try those. And if it not work now, then give me a call because we already did live and hear what we talk, which is unusual, not quite professional, but we dey try for keep people in the loop. So try what I don't tell you. Try for tap now your camera icon and activate your camera. Try for tap on your audio and try your microphone and make sure say your microphone active. And then tap on the access code and then come on. And I'm sure say I'm going before bring you on. But you know, your camera not active. So therefore, I'm not able to bring you come on. I don't see you. Yeah? No, no, not to this one. Not to this one. That access what I give you on the application what they use for the interview, now you need for use. Forget about this one. On that access, they look at your phone, activate your camera and your microphone. Just try that one time. Yeah. If you can't, then call me on WhatsApp and then we'll continue the interview. Okay, I don't keep the audience too much on blank. Let me continue with them. Bye bye. Okay, Fabulem. My apologies by the way. My sincere apologies. This is what happened once it come to we local audience, we domestic audience. And normally now that make we can say, and I've been telling the brother, because now in first time, it don't appear on this platform twice, but now with a different application. The application what they use now, of course, sometimes it's easy for that person access and one go. But it's always a good practice if now you first time with this new application, and this they go to future people and future guests them. It's always a good practice that we try them 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours for just organize that connection so that we don't have to go through things like this. So what will they go through so now because now very first time, so they having this difficulty. Hopefully we'll get over this. But anyway, back to the issue, Famule. Um, back to the issue then, Famule. We they talk about the midterm census. And I just go straight to the point. The idea that the government of Sierra Leone decide for call out this census report. And I repeat, the idea that the government of Sierra Leone did decide for call out this census report or the census result is hugely questionable. Again, we can go back and say why they call the census the people's census. So Fabule, this go to in a way definitely just want to look at the platform as being biased, or that the producers then at the platform are just belonging to a side. We are talking about a thing which very much open, which very much represent we democracy, which definitely represent some degree of transparency and accountability. Midterm census report. In this midterm census report, what we were told initially is there were question marks according to the new government headed by retired Brigadier Julius Madabio that the previous census under Ernest Bai Koroma of the All People's Congress government began question marks about them. In other words, the way how they carry out the census, it not been proper, it not been thorough. There were anomalies. Things were not correctly done. So under this new government, these errors, they go like for correct them. Never once were the people told that this correction go imply boundary delimitation. Remember, say, the idea about census, one of the ideas about census is boundary delimitation, the creation of new constituencies. That's one of the idea because remember say when the population don't grow, government lawfully get for understand how much of the population don't grow, the demography, usai, the gender, how many women them as opposed to how many man them, how many picking them exist, because all of these information feed in to various facets of the structures of government, i.e., for example, if the pikin dem wey born in a 5-year term, na 5-year old pikin dem and below, wetin are the facilities dem wey government go able for render such people, such pikin dem. In other words, focus or emphasis go get for day on healthcare, and because na 5-year old pikin dem and below inside this period, na in don born na the country, the government go get for organize themselves or organize a situation in which these people were born at that time day and to a period of time when the next census apparently will be read. But there is a general concern that they will have to be taken care of. And because now picking them, waiting at the needs. Waiting at the needs. Okay, let me just call Mr. Gborie. Let me just do this quickly. Over the make we just do this quickly over the line. Yeah. So, family, on bear with me. I'll just get Mr. Gborie quickly over the line. Mr. Gborie, thank you very much. Of course, family not see you yet, but in the really conversation because the loop is live. And not you. Yes. So waiting, I want for let we do. I want pull you come off the video loop because this they eat a lot of your data. Let we just do an audio interview because there will be more clarity and longevity. Yeah, is that okay? So Fabulem, this na Mr. Gborie. Okay. Those of you where they look, this na Mr. Gborie, a former statistician, but they find it difficult for log on to the link we give on the application where we get for do we live feed. This now we on a video link, but we they pull and come out on the video link. We they pull and come on another call like I mean. We they pull and come out on the video link, and we will put them only on audio link so there will be clarity. But this na in, so we know say. For sure, we get Mr. Amadu Gborie, a former statistician. Thank you so much, brother. And you can come off the video. All right. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much. You're welcome. You very much. Okay. So, Fambule, let me just go straight to the point. Make we just go straight to the point. Now, we don't know, say, we're not going able to bring the brother via the video link. Let me just get straight to the point. So, tonight with us, we get a former statistician help we for understand the midterm census, both the declaration of it, the process, the lawful side of it, the legal side of it, or the legitimacy, whether it was legitimate or not. The entire process leading to the just release as proclaimed by Malam O. Waiting this mean the repercussion. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we get Mr. Amadu Gborie. Mr. Gborie, welcome to the program, sir.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. PK.
Thank you so much. And Fabulem, if una make and clear by thumbs down, thumbs up. I expect a participation, but respectfully, now the channel. This broadcast is being live streamed to the entire world on both YouTube and Facebook. And I expect for we can disagree for agree. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the conversation that we are looking for. But I hope say we go do this respectfully. Let we respect each other in view. Let we respect Mr. Gborie in view. Respect the me where they conduct the interview. Of course, the limited view. And they listen to everybody else in view, and including in your view. Mr. Amadu Gborie, help we for understand census. The Usa one begin, of course, we don't go deep down, and I'm not gonna keep you long. I promise you an hour, not more than an hour. Sometimes I go above because it gets sweeter. But why a census normally referred to as a people's census?
All right, I want to extend my greeting to everybody out there, all listeners, and I want to also extend my greeting to you, Mr. PK. Thank you much for this great call. Want to apologize because actually today we get a bad weather in Sierra Leone, and presently, as I say, the place too dark, and it will rain heavily right now. So I hope that it stop. But generally, I just want to make it clear, of course, within we mean by the word census. The word census, like counting process, where if you say count
Okay.
for they do every time stated by the constitution every 10 years, and for the count people in this country. So whenever we talk about the census, for deal with a particular counting of people living within a Syrian. So generally, when we do about the counting, we don't left any category. We capture all categories and again for deal with all aspects, whether living or not living. So in general, and again for involve a lot of things. So and government need to do that. And when government do that alone, they will help the nation at large.
Okay. Many thanks for that, Mr. Gborie. And because we're so deep into the time, let me just ask you this quickly. So as we speak today, I mean, one of the bone of contention, Mr. Gborie, is that of something where we don't come for know as the midterm census. This midterm census, by every stretch of the English language, is being very, very controversial. This is not me saying this; it's the process in itself. And I go on for let you, you weigh in into this midterm census. I don't know whether you agree with me that it has been a very controversial midterm census because the president go and declare and from that day on, we've seen many things happen. For example, some of the people we normally form that status quo around the midterm census for say this is a people census backed by international donors and community, i.e., in this case, the World Bank, they kind of pulled out. I wonder what in this mean. Why did they pull out? And then pulling out, what it mean to the credibility of this midterm census?
All right. Generally, midterms when we talk about census, like the people census, meaning nobody never left out at all. Not. It is the right of all Sierra Leoneans to be counted. All right. And the most important thing about this midterm census introduced by the present government of Sierra Leone, no hard feelings. We are not talking about anything but tribal. We are not talking anything about regionalism. We they talk as a patriotic Sierra Leoneans. Me where they talk to if I talk for tribal, I want to believe that me where they talk to now mean I strong man. Myself from Kenema district. I born life inside Kenema town, and now they start me schooling. Now they I do everything about me on life. So I just extend free time on job promotions. So generally, we not talk about tribe, we not talk about regionalism, and everybody do wish best for Sierra Leone, except otherwise. So when we talk about midterm census that was introduced by this present government, we of course the new Statistician General they call Usman Sanko, we introduced. If you look at quotation, what did they say? They say a midterm census will generate credible population and housing data midway between census 2015 and census 2025 to address and identify challenges of census in 2015 and react for the census 2025. The reason why they bring up this, if you understand the statement and say midway, really, we're not going to say it is a doubtful process, so many governments say today I want to call up a census. It is the right of the government. It is right. But all it depends when you're in the full area, when you have certain areas, that cause, no matter how you look at it, when we do, because no matter what, yes, you must get 1-2 lapses. But even the lapses do not call on either or the government of Sierra Leone say, I want to do general census because of A, B, C, D. No. If you get any doubt, then you want to do a rehearsal on that particular ground. You get for good and make corrections on this particular area. Why they extend this program for, they say, a rehearsal within the range of 2015 and 2025, they don't actually cry down the 2015 census according to the write-up. They say the 2015 census, they don't decide for come up with the 2021 census because of the one do a rehearsal. The 2014 now we for don't do census in this country. But because of the pandemic disease where they call Ebola, we affect the people and we decide for push this to right. So from 2015, when we do a counting, where we all know census will commence in this country after every 10 years. From 2015, the next census will don't commence on 2025, right? So that make me say a midway rehearsal process where of course they're looking to have identify challenges and all of the rest. Okay, it is important. But here is the case, the process where due this particular census, they don't ever go through them. That is the reason why international committees, international partners like the European Union, the World Bank, and all the rest decide for back out because the process was not actually legal and they were having a hidden agenda. And now we reach the stage. So that is the reason why the European Union and also the World Bank decide saying that for withdraw everything about what they do towards this particular census what they do.
Mr. Gborie, you not seem for the means you words right there, and you're not person we understand this process. I've listened to you many times on different channels and your personal opinion, the way you can express on this, and that is based on your professionalism and expertise in which you did not do previously as a statistician with statistics here alone. You mentioned a few things one or two. I.e., for example, you say there was always a hidden agenda. When you say there was always a hidden agenda in terms of this midterm census, what exactly do you mean? Do you care for expand on the allegedly hidden agenda?
Well, the reason why I say maybe they get the agenda because we not say West statistics census in my country. They can present this data to NEC. The NEC get for consider for extract 18 years and above age people living in a particular country. Then self take them, then validate them, and then decide for boundary and constituency and award for ward process and ward election process. So we are, of course, when statistics don't take this information, next second for look into it critically and decide type of constituencies and ward. And with that population where PC statistics say country town A or town get more population, what do you expect at the end of the day? It is the right of the government for say, okay, now this particular town don't get more population, it decide for create a own district on your own. And by virtue of them, we don't understand create a district what we call Panguma inside Kenema district. Then we also consider Bandajuma when I inside Pujon. So it is we not consider 16 districts again. We consider to 18 districts now in this country. The boundary delimitation. I say maybe they get an heady agenda.
Okay, I get beaucoup question because I think we don't really fast track this conversation to probably 45 minutes ahead of many things what we want to ask. But these are also critically kind of important. But for the benefit of family, they listen. Like you talk about the creation of new districts. You talk about Panguma and Bandajuma. And what does this actually mean politically speaking? Now we'll talk really politics. I mean, we'll come to substance and I want to talk largely about substance. But since you initiate this, let we talk politically. So, what in this mean? This creation of new districts, politically speaking, what it mean?
Well, actually, when we do the 2015, so because we get some press release from the SLPP as an opposition party by then, say now the APC don't draw new district in a Caribbean and Falaba. So they say don't come. I think they say say the southeast. They say for create another district addition. You understand? But actually, a district can be created when it merits population. You're not able to create a district when you know it's a particular population. You understand? And we cannot create district based on a landscape. We not district based on a number of structures. We create it based on the number of populations in the day. You understand? And if we also want to consider a new district, we therefore consider a new PCP. chieftaincies. We also have to consider new places. We also have to consider ward. So these are all burden within the situation, because when you district, you expect all assets, all facilities will build a particular district. You get for take down that. You understand? So maybe when you look at them, perhaps this is the malice where, of course, the SFPC one comes, we need for bringing a new district because one had more member of parliament at the end of the foresee waiting to happen with country.
I would like for keep the conversation basically on substance, large reality. Of course, we talk about a little bit of theoreticals and etc. No, I think say I've been feel say something like that. I want to let you recap this for me quickly if you can. You say for create districts, how are districts created? What is it based on, Mr. Gborie? Oh, okay. I think we lost Mr. Gborie. Are you there? Okay, I think we lost Mr. Gborie. Mr. Gborie, if you hear me, anytime you come back online, feel free for. Oh, okay. So I mean, they say I don't want to go by hearsay and then say I want to talk about substance. Of course, at some point during this conversation, we go to talk. Yes, you hear me? You hear me? Okay. Now we are having a problem with the line with Mr. Gborie, so it's on and off. Mr. Gborie, you're back.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, I get you. I get you loud and clear.
Okay, we've been a try for say I don't want for let we talk about hearsay and they say.
Yes. I get loud and clear.
No one follow we talk about hearsay and they say I want to we talk about substantive things, them reality and etc. We go talk about theories because of course largely this exists. You talk earlier on in your last point that districts are created on the basis of something we are not get quite clearly. So I wonder whether you can reiterate that again. How are districts created, or how are districts supposed to be created in terms of a conversation? I think I've lost him again.
All right. Generally, I just want to make it clear to the people that whenever statistics. Hello?
Yeah, go on with the you.
Okay. Yes. Statistics Sierra Leone, then they provide the technical apps for do boundary delimitation in terms of district creation. You understand? But statistics Sierra Leone not get a full mandate for create a boundary on its own. You understand? Then they do it directly with the government in consultation. Whenever Parliament decides, then decide on us. Say, okay, this is meaningful and useful. Regarding the situation when statistics don't go do the counting, they don't tell the country of the nation, say the population in a particular district don't increase to certain number. What do you expect? We take a particular get this, we bring them down to neck. Next, they validate them, they extract the eligible voters from the non-voters. You understand? That are from 18 years below. When they extract that, immediately, then they will look at her now and consider, say, okay, this district don't the right of this district to get more than 3, 4, 5, 6 constituencies now on its own. You understand? And we get a certain number of people to consider. By point of it's a criteria who consider the constituency to be created. We are in with what limit and the lower limit. The lower limit of populations as registered voters that are considered for a district constituency to be created is at the peak of 43,000, right? And the upper limit will look at 46,000 of registered voters or registered people. Now then we will consider to create a constituency on their own. You understand? The populations based on the specific increase of that district. Now today we can decide, say, okay, this district don't really for making people do on their own. Like look at Waterloo. Usually Waterloo where it concerned before the 2000 will not be expect Waterloo for their on its own. Unless they consider other villages for add to Waterloo. But when the landscape don't big, they also don't consider more structures, infrastructure development don't begin according immediately. They don't consider Waterloo now for town on you. You understand? So these are all the productivity we consider for able to create a district on its own. When a district lack all its provisions, immediately we not consider for being a district, right? So these are in generally.
Yeah, so what are the advantage with the district in play now? In other words, the idea that we can call for a midterm census, and it's clear to most Sierra Leoneans then right now that the idea behind the calling of a midterm census, unlike what we were told from the very beginning, is now about creating new districts and new constituencies. What are the political advantage, and how can governments get away with this? Because if one government can get away with them, another government can equally get away with them. Are there lines where we can draw, say, these are the red lines, it cannot be crossed?
Actually, I get a lot of and disadvantage. You understand? So you get certain advantage. It depends if you meet every time or get a district or not.
Yeah.
Advantage, yeah, the population killer. At the end of the day, it affects the nation at large. We are in. It's also what it gets for feeding one person. Believe it. If you go generate a district on its own, where you not get the facilities or not the opportunity for taking down to them, at the end of the day, what's going to happen? Then people will get different ways and way they look at things. Then we begin to sometimes the government at them. We begin to look at it and say, why the government for just can't create a district? At the end of the day, they don't produce new parliamentarians. Where you even get money for payday. And who say get for outsource all the salary areas? Who say the government for outsource money for building new schools and other new districts? Who say the government for outsource money for able to bring an agricultural ministry to that place? Who say
Okay. Mr. Gborie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So I want to let you broke down for Fambule where they listen and we eventually get for listen. Yeah. This boundary delimitation, the increasing or creating new constituencies. Like you say earlier on, you get advantages and disadvantages. The idea that the reason why we can do a census, which now exactly I want to let you break down, they inform different annals before you dey join. I've been try for break that down, but this not to me area of expertise. Waiting in mean like consumer price index, for example, like gender base, like age base. Waiting all of this mean to the constitution and to the country and the various department them, where all of this data that is generated can feed into. Will you articulate this, here for the benefit of the public before we go to the next phase of this conversation?
If I'll get you clear again, come again, please allow me to scramble.
Okay, what you are the try for say, Mr. Gborie, is census is very, very important. And I think say we all know this. But when we can decide for manipulate or massage census and treat them to we own advantage instead of the general advantage where census supposed for stand for, instead of it become a net benefit for the country, it becomes a net minus for the country. What I mean by this, from your understanding, is census now a degree of data that is being generated based on the reality on the ground. Like for example,
Yeah, of course.
yes, sir, when you do your census, it's so connected with every other ministry, department, and agency in the country. So, for example, we can talk about health. Waiting they inform the outcome of health policies is based on the census. How many picking them we get will determine. Now, waiting will be the policy towards picking them. We're born within a period of time. 5 year old to 1 year old. Waiting at the age we don't go between the time where the census was conducted for older people, 65 to 70-year-old, and waiting at the needs, waiting at the consumer price index, and sometimes again the demography. Usa you the business people and one can do business. Now, Usa the way people and they smoke more. Usa the way people and they drink more. I want open one bar. I can't just open on any other side. But if you get a census when they inform you on all of this basic, we just base on political outcome to the advantage of somebody we want in one direction instead of a general direction. This is a disaster. And at this, they ask you for let you articulate to famulem, waiting at the importance actually of census in the reasoning they we are just outlined. Health, education, like they ask for 800 picking them, 800,000 picking them from one constituency based on the outcome of the census, where we they understand say that number they not even exist. So you see, this is a falsehood, and this is bad. If you get what they say, help we for understand this thing inside, Mr. Bowie, if you can.
All right. Ma just give a general view on it. And as statistics, we get what we call basic population characteristics. Whenever one do census, the questionnaire entails basic population characteristics. And those basic population characteristics, it deal with the age, the sex, the marital status, your household composition.
Yeah, that's size, exactly the direction I've been trying for. Go. Thank you very much for that. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the reason why we deal with all these aspects. Now in the situation we are in, census therefore deal with all walks of lives, necessarily in every nation. So all departments or ministries strongly depend on statistics value. And statistics value are the home to every nation development. And when statistics value decide for bend 1 inch for make the country succeed in development, you find it very difficult. Here is a situation. Whenever statistics value they exist, or neither one do any project, you'd expect say international partners they relate with them directly. When somebody want to come overseas, they want to consider anything but this nation development. You know, can bypass another way called statistics value. If they go there directly, and by right, there is a law where then at the Constitution of Statistics Value say, whenever somebody want to do research at this country, or you want to collect anything but data, if you don't get a statistics value in the certification, say we don't certify another, will agree with you, say you need for those collect data, you don't get a right for take that mandate. Now, true in the past. Because tomorrow, when you produce any wrong data, then will proclaim, it will affect the whole nation. So here is the situation. Now, if politicians are using this particular statistics value office for their own benefit and for their own wish, if we don't take time, we will see a standstill situation. We are in, somebody will come today and say, me, I just want to increase the population here. Statistics value is not about just population. Let's understand this. If it is about population, we don't need for action for your marital status. Statistics value, you go there now. Then we will tell you exactly the number of people that have already been divorced, from which year to which. Statistics value can tell you this. Statistics value get the right for also tell you, say, this is the number of smokers within district A or district B or district C. Then can tell you, Dandy, where you go there now. Statistics value can also tell you, say, this is the number of people where they live per 1 cup of rice per day. Statistics value can tell you all these things. So it is very meaningful for the whole nation for many statistics value to be very independent, right? If they not become independent, whatsoever they do, they say they do them because of politics interest, it means they are harming themselves strongly. And at the end of the day, for me, even the government succeed on own goal, they find it very difficult. Because they already care, say, we want to increase the number of people. Then at the end of the day, we increase the number of constituencies, the number of seats for people to comfort. But then they forget, say, even the honorables, then they can get a very serious challenge. Because if you then go increase the inflate numbers, when you say that number, they not possible. Then create and just because of the one fit you comfort or political comfort. What do you think? It will become very challenging for you at the end of the day. That is why when we can do boundary limitation, we're going to call the amalgamation. The amalgamation is a situation wherein When we don't do delimitation, we call on all honorables, all councillors, all stakeholders that are involved. We teach on them one after the other. We project this particular constituency created to them, may they see if whether it fits them comfort or it not fit them comfort. Because so honorable no one make it a very vast land for making one get control. Because tomorrow, if you go get a larger number of populated people, what do you expect? Everybody needs school. Everybody needs water well. Everybody needs better thing, a better thing in the community. So if you favor police all these things, believe it or me, you go in second time, you find it very difficult. So it's very technical. Whenever one do or not do for people political status, at the end of the day, it affects you bigger time. And when it affects you, it also affects the whole nation. Because tomorrow everybody going to cry. People go on to say why this they happen. People go on to say why that they happen. Because of a missing data.
Because of missing data. Thank you so much, my brother. Yeah. And of course, we fast track this interview because we've been a run late. But I feel compelled for bring you come back, and this is the political side of things where I want to talk about. So, in terms of this census, the midterm census, the controversy surrounding them is so huge that there's a lot of us who don't understand the direction in which we head, other than one set of people just determine that this is how and where we get for go. The reason why I say this, Mr. Gborie, in fact, we can always supply that with evidence, whether not circumstantial or physical. This is it. So, some time ago, the President of the Republic said, we need for conduct a midterm census. And the midterm census is going to be based on the fact that the last census wasn't conducted properly. It wasn't about delimitation, boundary delimitation, and constituency creation, although that's what it is turning out to be. But I want for let we look at the process as a whole, leading to USA we did so. I ask you the question, but I not go in depth because I'm going to try for avoid that. How and why they call them a people census. So anyway, the exercise about this midterm census, we see people them where we they understand say been they work for 100% of their salary, but only 30% was paid to them. 70% is still outstanding. We see the government in the end, under the statistics big man, Malam O, declare a result which is questionable. But he went ahead and declared them anyway, even though we they understand, say, a huge percentage, we can put them at half of the total of 100%, so 50% of people them, now statistics alone, and some of them get their own testimony where they not put out, where they say, but we not conduct any formal exercise for go take people the detail, count people them. In fact, some of the machinery given to them in the form of gadgets, where they for use for conduct the operation, is still with them. Mr. Gborie, for goodness sake, I mean, how credible? I mean, there are questions about the credibility, but I want to let you lay waste on the basis of which I just said just now, people are still having the gadgets. Some of these gadgets contain information which were not harnessed for produce this general result will come out. How can the government then come out and say this is the result that we garnered from the your midterm census? What's the credibility?
All right. The credibility to start, I feel say from the first day the people of Sierra Leone, including the other political parties and journalists and all the rest, then we don't begin cancel out, say no, we don't partake, I want to do nothing about the census. There comes we all be on the camera and say the procedure about the census is very, very wrong. So they ask the government, we able to call on statistics element and go back to the drawing board. And I'll advise themselves, because the people census generally, anybody that rejected census, they don't reject nation development. The law get right for Ulam. But here's the situation. Millions of Sierra Leoneans were left behind. They're not counted because of, they say the program not legitimate. So legitimacy not be there behind them at all not. Because the structure where they for follow as statistics or as data analysts, they don't ever follow them. Like me when me said they also may not ever be counted. The web they don't ever counter. Bamboo they don't ever count there. With community is very difficult for me to see somebody men encounter. We will not test it, they don't counter. It don't ever happen. But here is the situation. We be expecting if these people be followed due process, and obviously anybody will reject this particular census. It happens. 2015, when we want to do census in this country. Yes, of course, there are some people like the Tambasam, the late man, may God put it now, but leave it, it will raise concern. And the reason why it raise concern, it began your 1 2.0, it will raise along. You understand? But trust me, it not ever happen for make international bodies, the European Union, the World Bank, the UNDP, the UFPA, for men and rejected the 2015 census, they be against us strongly. It not ever happen so, because the census of inclusion and everybody encourage them. At the end of it, people do the census maturely, everybody admire. And also when we do the census, the apron, people that they use them, generally they move all about. People that they see them, that they really appreciate and say, yes, then people are there on nation development. Then people are there for salon, everybody be admire them. But this is census where they do. One, they never do mopping up, but make sure say they inform Sierra Leoneans the essence and the importance of the midterm census. It don't ever happen. That communication line will be very, very limited. They don't ever make them known to everybody. They don't ever expose them to people down there. And don't ever take the time. Like what we do 2015, we call on local authorities. We invite all stakeholders. We give them their own responsibility. We invite SLTU president. We even get a position, the statistics value, of course, for making able allow the teachers for do this credible data or consensus in this country. So 2015 was very open to everybody. But here is the situation, they wire up, they just take the time, they unpick the data collectors them, then go along for do the census. And when they do the census, we all see the result of it. At the end of the day, 3 days, remember no more, we're going to call census night. That night, they will call census night. It's a particular night where they release, how they call them, enumerators them, for make them gonna feel. And when they're gonna feel, then they capture people where if they say they not get dwell in place at all, not like the prostitute. They get dwell in place, but everything for them that gets them depend. So census night, will they capture you on a particular night, who say you sleep, right? Yeah. Like the prostitute, then you decide they're gonna stitch. And when they're gonna stitch on it, now then they sleep. Not only they sleep. So we they capture them, we they capture people at the hotels, we they capture people in other ministries where people say they depend on that particular side. The security guard, we they capture them all of their category. But this census night for this 2021, you can't imagine. It was the same census night where they be fed for share out materials. It was the same census night where they be fed for even share out and the 30% allowances. You understand? It was the same census night where they even fight for men and get the materials for going to field. So it did not ever undertaker. It not ever happen. At the end of the following morning, they decided them for going to this census. And this is the only census where man they put the apron in a bag, they not ever wear them. They hold the tablet them, then they walk with it. Pastor people they ask them. As you go inside, people they reject. Anytime you go, people they reject. My brother, this is about national development. The politician can never have more sense more than the president of his country. Any piece of way illegitimate, way illegal. Trust me, nobody knows where go debunk and the president in hand. Right? Statistics is an independent body. For make them grab no more say no. See then this one do. Then other political parties say no, we don't agree. You know what you mean? They should have gone back to the drawing board say no. Since then people are not reject, we need to consider because a missing data is a missing country. So we need to go back to the drawing board. More consider this thing for me. It will be well set and well done. But it not ever happens so. So since they do it that way, and this is the end result of it. How do you mean? For make you don't pay training allowance to people. 30% that now when they stone self. They stone seriously. Some they fed, some they born. They do a lot of things. They fight say again for them. Before them begin members say, okay, people are not strike, more begin member than 30%. Then give them 30% at the end of the day. How that do you expect? A mopping process, what they call a mopping process, that mopping process now just after the session within 2 weeks, we will consider a mopping process for another week in addition. That is to say, area where left out will not count, people that were left out will not count, people that were visited will not ever touch them. These are the people who they capture in that particular situation. But this is the only census where they do a mopping process for good 30 days, and the 1 month again, people they still the grumble say they're not country. The second again, the media team has statistics, they are not afraid God. Then go back to the media, say their tablets are missing. When about 500 tablets. You know what that mean? It is very scary as a statistician. For me, say 500 tablets are missing. So in that situation, you know how many thousand people are in that tablet of 500?
Yeah.
Why are they missing? Now because they say they don't pay the people in. And since they don't pay the people in, it means, and one thing more research, when they give somebody tablets to go collect data, that person they all learn data then they, and then a machine, if they get another tablet day, unless it's been paid. And when you don't pay them, you know they sync the data. And for me, send the data, but you never pay them first. So all the thousands of data, they don't let them about their hand. They even will understand, say, the tablet is not owned by Sierra Leoneans. It's not owned by Statistics Sierra Leone. Now they go let that tablet day. So since they don't bring them, now they don't come missing. For Statistics Sierra Leone for first solution for recover and back. You understand? So this is a situation where vision will go through now, because up to this level, the 70% is not paid. And ours was not like that. We paid everywhere because they are Sierra Leoneans. And we know how difficult and challenging this census day. Statistics Sierra Leone is the only office we own data that they collect. Many of Sierra Leoneans are afraid for local statistics because we didn't touch the last village. And touching the last village, it means you touch the last man living in that last village. So we don't get play with work. It's about reality and truthfulness. So this 2015 census was done credibly. We all see the credibility in it. Where, of course, where this government just can't say it's not credible at all. They say because villages were left behind. And who did this particular census? The particular man who will be there in the census division is still there at this statistics value. He was the first front runner for this 2021 census. Then, when the one can pull out the result, we get what we call PES, when a post-enumeration survey. That in real language, we call them quality checks. For example, I send me Mr. Masarese go Kenema. I may go capture for me Mr. Kamara, Saidu Brema, this, that, all the names. Bring them for me. When you go collect that information, you carry it, and if you send another person to them same people, for go know if you actually go touch them. For go know if you actually will get the fact from those people. You understand? So those are the reason why we do PES, with a post-enumeration survey. But this one was never done. They just go ahead for pull the provisional result. Say the population of the country are 7,500,000 something. What is the difference? When we don't carry out the 2015 census, say the population we know accept not to 7 million. They never grumble about the new district created. Not to that them grumble, but then grumble say the population and disagree with her. So if you disagree with the population, say not to 7 million some 100, why did you come and still stand on the 7 million? Where is the credibility? And we all gonna be happy for low population increase, because when the population increase, you expect more provisions for Camp Sierra Leone. You expect more partners for country and Sierra Leone. You expect more development for country and Sierra Leone. We can only feel pity when the population is down. But when the population increase, it's a blessing to us, because we expect more partners to involve. You expect more provision for involve, right? So these are the situations. So the credibility of this particular census, we don't let for crown down there onto this peak. And up to now, look at the results. For we can get a bold mind say, Kenema is more larger than Freetown. Right? But bring that kind of message and it's very sorry. And when we talk about Freetown, it's the capital city of Sierra Leone.
Mr. Gborie, on this same point where you dip, and sorry I get for bought in you mid flow, but I know they distract you at all, because at the same point I want to let you continue with, which is kind of amazing to boku people that the population of Kenema, knowing fully well that migration they take place from the hinterland into the capital. Now it make they get deficiency in agriculture, because people are not planting anymore, because people are not there. People are kind of coming down because no incentive is being given to them for staying up na the countryside. So almost everybody else they come down na the capital. So for say the capital city don't lost in terms of population to places like Kenema, so almost don't become, I don't know, population wise, the second biggest. I don't know how you go put them, but I want to let you talk about that briefly. How possible is this? Explain to me, please, if you will.
Generally, I just want to tell you that the worst mistake statistics ever make, that the worst mistake they ever make, for make them decrease the population number in Freetown, when at the capital city of Sierra Leone, they increased third city. Me, I don't call a city, a town. Now, let me born, I have no problem if they have the largest number of population. I'm very proud because we are talking about a patriotic life. More all live as a patriotic Sierra Leoneans. More get love for this country, not our hometown. If we get love for Sierra Leone, nothing no they will go and do what they do. Right? The only time I experience second, no, it don't be the largest city in Sierra Leone. That's during the 80s. Wherein we will experience the mining, not economy. Right? Then we will experience other things will happen in the market center. So these are the days. But those days are gone. We don't forget about that. Right? Since now, up to this time, no town, no day, we're larger than Freetown. It don't ever be safe. And then people know exactly what they say. And at the time, you say, the only reason why they say the population at Kenema is more larger than Freetown, I'm telling you, my brother, it's just because they have already decided that we must have a district at that particular side. That's all. That's all. And you don't go say a population don't reduce at that side, then you go create district. Now, foul play. If I mean, if this if you know I'm going to do better data, at least if I don't decide, say no, the Freetown more left because I a big blow. If now they don't decrease the number now, the number in Freetown has been reduced. Who's here stick the use? When we get state house in Freetown, now the capital city. When we get parliament, now the capital city. All prominent ministry, the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Development, and all other ministries that had a Sido, right? All prominent schools that had a day. The University of Sierra Leone had a day. Talking about the IPAM, talking about Jala University, right? Talking about Fobe College, talking about Unimtech. All other prominent universities that freedom as the hub, right? Every day we see the congestion of this particular town. Now, as we talk, Freetown alone don't be the extent onto Benjoy or Waterloo. We are seeing it exactly. So why, of course, then people have to decide, say, no, the population here is lesser. It's a very big blow and a disgrace. If they continue, it will even affect. How? It affect NEC. Because when NEC for do voter registration, the number of statistics they give them, they for match with are exact. But NEC fail for understand one thing. If you do voter registration, you get for issue out voter card to eligible voters. For men they can't on a pull that day for vote. So if you do pull number, people don't go register. Then you pull number, say now 600,000 people and then register based on statistics and provisional results they don't pull. Then people that hold their card. Let's say they reach for men go vote. What do you expect them to do? If the name do not come, then they hold that card for go vote. How will you define that? Men just look within the line. It will be a big problem. Because I don't go register now. Then when I hide my name, when I say because of statistics don't produce data, so now I will work with. So immediately, when I'm ready for go vote, I can go my card. As long they are not see my name go. And I go and vote for my political party what I want. You see the riot?
Yeah.
This is a riot to go out boy. So we expect them to say anything so far than they do, may they do it credibility. May they do it with credibility, where of course go fit this nation development. It's not about politics, and we need to take this thing out of it. Statistics now, just this statistics you don't see, then get all the mindset is about politics.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay.
They don't come for work in the job production.
Okay. Are you still there, sir? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So again, many thanks for that. I mean, the community or the nation Sierra Leone get for be really thankful. Although they don't have to verbally do that, physically do that, but very thankful to people like you because we dey talk about a major component of we future na the country. And the thing the way they constitute down the way now like statistics here alone, which you're very vast with because you don't work with them. And this is what you they try for outline for we today. Another thing I want for let we talk about quickly, I mean not deviating from the subject matter, is the man we declare the result. Malam O, a man where you very familiar with, I suppose. Malam O, by many respect, na Sierra Leone, has, or had, I don't know whether that is continuous now. I guess for take time with me tense, me English tenses.
Yeah.
It in command a lot of respect. But up to the declaration of this much vaunted, this much constituted questionable midterm result, a man, because government think you always look for people and we get respect na the community for announce some dubious things them. I am not saying that it's dubious, it's up to the Sierra Leoneans therefore decide. But from waiting we don't talk about, it seems like there are so many questions around this particular issue. So Malam Ona finally come out and declare the results of this much questionable midterm census. I wonder what thing you view about Malamo.
I just want to say Malamo, no hard feelings. I don't get nothing against him. It's my boss. He was my former boss, actually. And I began big respect for him. But actually, you know, ever make her feel good because anybody who know like Sierra Leone are not going to like him. Because we all at nation building the fight. And we all look at Sierra Leone generally say, like man like him, we will get a high respect for him based on the appearance and the thing that we will not say we don't do. Right? That man be don't help out different nations. They don't work on different levels. They don't work internationally. That man they don't appoint for help Sierra Leone. So the expectation was one who say begin disappoint we for us. That man get a bold mind tell we say under my regime, I don't go encourage any politician or convince anybody, or convince them for sack anybody in the statistics Sierra Leone. Then come give we hope. Then tell we say statistics Sierra Leone. The population, we all the work the Uboku, will have been with 312, including directors, countrywide, right? Then from that level, Malamo say, in chairman, they say, we Boku at our office. Now we check them, now they said.
Okay. Okay, I think we lost we guessed there briefly. But that cannot stop the show, obviously. And let me just use this opportunity for visit we page and see people the way they contribute. And we also want to use the occasion for something really special. But before I go into that, let me just say hello to a big brother, Alaji Bangura.
Now. They get about for don't resign because.
Yeah, go on, please. Okay, I think we lost time again. So just want to say hello and greetings to everybody, and that includes the big brother Alaji Bangura. And thanks for watching, Mr. Bangura. And before I go to the commentary them na the page, I also want for use this occasion for express we deepest condolences to the family of the late Alfred Cisse, commonly known as Stefano. Stefano passed away sometime last week, and today, obviously, his body was laid for public viewing at in London. He died in London. In body been laid for public viewing na Shumat Road mosque. Shumat Road, very popular mosque, was laid there. A few days ago, the family be meet na Old Kent Road, Mr. Sanusi Conte in place. We get for fly with the family, the rest of the family go Freetown for the final interment of Mr. Stefano, a man who I come for know and come for deeply respect, but of course we've lost him. And I've been one for use this occasion as well for express my deepest condolences to the family. As a matter of fact, being associated with him for a period of time, and it became influential in my life as I was new in the diaspora in the UK. he managed to introduce me to certain quarters. Some of those quarters still exist today, and I will never forget. And me profound and deepest condolences. He even know me wife. Being fond of me, being fond of me wife. He provides so many advices for me. Unfortunately, we've lost him, and that's the bottom line. The body of the late Stefano will be flown, I believe, to Freetown tomorrow, and he will arrive in Freetown on the 14th, I believe, and will be taken to McKinney's hometown, where he was born, groomed, grew up as a boy, where his final remains will be rested. I've been just one for finally again say massive condolences to the family of the late Alfred Cisse, a man whom I came to know and respect. There are people out there that are watching the program today who knows a thing or two about the relation, which was a big brother, small brother, because he was far more my senior. Introduced me to some quarters who were hostile to me, but of course he softened the ground and said, "This is him. He is my son, and please." And I respect that up to this day. And I'm really grateful. Koto Stefano, and I've been a caller Yambafari. And if you not notice, this particular page, my Facebook page, the title is Yambafari. Yambafari na ina be a nickname. They always they tell me, he can threaten me. He can say, no make la make rain come or something. We see done as some gathering and what have you. Now being that sort of traditional man. I go make rain come o. No try me o. Me na Yambafari, Soko and this and that and what have you. That was him. Respected him greatly for that. Unfortunately, he's gone. Just like life, yeah, for every one of us will come to an end. The thing that everything that lives will die is real, and we therefore understand and appreciate that. So it is with Koto Stefano. Some people may call him Koto Stefano. I can call him Koto Stefano as well many times. But in reality, I've been come for call him and respect him for that. Not being Yambafari, which he been like so much. Because when I call him Yambafari, not be because he been a threatening way. We go sit down, they have a great time, and he will say, I go make rain come. And it's like Yamba Faredu and not make rain come. Anyway, on a more serious note, he is passed on to the great beyond. And this is a process we all will go through. His soul is gone. The vessel, the body is still here. And that body will be interned in McKinney on the 16th of this month, June. And I pray that the soul of the late man rest in peace. And my profound and sincere condolences to the entire family. Thank you so much to all. Back again to waiting. We been to talk about. We get Amadu Gborie on the phone, and we did talk about the midterm census, the consequences, the ramifications, and etc. And I just want to read a few things. I want to read a few things on the platform so that we go able for move forward. I will just acknowledge people the way they watch the platform. They will watch people the way they acknowledge the platform right now. So, like I've been to say, acknowledgement to brother, another big brother, Mr. Alhaji Bangura, Mr. Ibrahim Kankakabo, Mr. Parios Koroma. All of these people are watching the program. And I be also want to say thanks and appreciation to the other people in which share the program and all the others then where they watch. I'm not able to read. The comments are not many. Let me not exaggerate them, but I'm not able to read all. And we fastly they run out of time. Mr. Gborie, are you there, sir? Okay, I think we don't lost Mr. Gborie. It's not a problem. Yeah, I think so. We don't lost Mr. Gborie, but it's not a problem. We go continue just where we were. Again, just a quick recognition of people the way they watch Mr. Mohammed Kamara. Mohammed Kamara is the able anchor on the platform. He's been away for 3 weeks. He's back, and I'm so thankful that he's back. Mr. Idris Toure. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. Toure. Thank you very much. Hello, and welcome to you all to the Then and Now Media Empire. That's from Mr. Kamara. Salaji Bangura. Hello, Prince Chroma. Thanks for the service. Many thanks, and I really appreciate you on the program watching tonight. Samuel Bangura, bulldozing the census by this administration tells it openly of the hidden agenda to rig the elections. Okay, that's the opinion of a subscriber to the platform. Abdul Abubakar ZCC, fascinating just like always. Many thanks, Mr. CC. Martha Bangura is watching from London. Hello, Sister Martha. I hope all is well in London. Thank you so much. If you bite the hand that feeds you, then be ready for starvation. Let God help us alone. That's Brother Samuel. Thank you so much. Sori Ibrahim Kanu from Saudi Arabia. Wow. From the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Many, many thanks, Brother Sori Ibrahim Kanu. Thanks for watching. And please try to get in touch. We try for get in touch with people and with Saudi Arabia. The number is 077 40107250. Obviously, now from Saudi Arabia. So +44 77 40107250. Many thanks, brother, from watching from all the way there. Sierra Leone is at a dangerous stage for future generations. Absolutely, I go agree with you. We are at a crossroads. Moriba Kone, was the president right to call for census? Answer yes. Did opposition parties call for boycott? Answer is yes. How do you want the result to be accurate? This is a good reflection, an inflection point, Mr. Moriba Kone. So, yes, the president called for a midterm census. The first question is, was it legitimate? Lowy agrees it was legitimate, but on the basis of waiting a column for. That's also questionable, and you can deal with that. Did the opposition, not siding with the opposition, by the way, just the question that you asked with him for be open and very, very significant. Did the opposition say the president, the follower them, not for listen to waiting the president called for or what was the mandate at the time? Yeah, it is true. The opposition said so. But what you make that wrong? They saw the calling of the process as flawed, except you don't agree. But if it were flawed, and they say, well, we can't recognize this, and especially now that we get the benefit of hindsight, in which what they said then was there were flaws in the previous census. That's what they want for. They want for correct. But now going on, all waiting the people let me the suspect, which is about boundary delimitation and the creation of new constituencies. They've made it clear that's what the point is, which vindicates the opposition and many other people that will be opposed to that. Then, of course, you proposition, you submission, you posit is incorrect, unfortunately, Mr. Kone. But good one, sir, very good one. Lamzo D, fake certificate holders as key workers at Statistics Sierra Leone had a negative end result. I'm not sure whether I understand this perfectly well, whether it is speak to the now or the then, but here it is. Fake results, I sure say they know they exist even under the Anesco government. It's not new. But it became a big issue under this government, and how this government deal with them is the problem. Like, for example, the president has got people all around him that have been accused of being in possession of fake degrees, fake doctorates. What has the president done? Zilt, zero, nothing. They still there around them. And where they work are the same people that have lost credibility, no credibility at all, are the same people that he's walking around with. When they attend functions, the opening of parliament, speeches in parliament, is the same people, including the Minister of Agriculture and many others, including the police chief. Moriba Konege, we had known the game plan since Bill became president. Okay, so this obviously is an opposition to the president. Now I understand where he's coming from. Samuel Bangura, there is supposed to be a parliamentary procedure for any credible census. Having a tug of war in parliament was shameful for nation. I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Samuel Bangura. There should be a procedure. There is a procedure and should be a procedure. And the procedure all turn and they turn upside down, topsy-turvy. When they say president for consult, the president don't consult. The president goes and demand. The president go and read and expect, say, it was translate automatically to power. This has not been the case. Mr. Amadu Gborie, of course, is gone. That's fine because we're at the end of the program. So I agree with you, Mr. Bangura. And this has been some of the abuses. Yeah. So anyway, back to the program. Let me end this program quickly. The census program has been okay. I think we're having a we're having a backblast. The census program has been a it's been a major problem, and this major problem now in don't they serve as the contradictions where they go on now the country right now. So the president called for a midterm census. The census not meet the consensus of the people. That's why they call it a people census. But the president did had an agenda. And I say an agenda now. I didn't say an agenda then. Please give me a break. I didn't say an agenda then because I didn't know. But now I know it's an agenda because people did question that. But what we were told is or was that the last census was not correct in terms of the numbers. There were questions about them. Now, with the understand, say, now about boundary delimitations and constituency creations. Will sitting MPs finally take this insult? In my opinion, no, they're not going to take it in. For once, they are probably going to act because before then, they mean they drag their foot. But once their existence is threatened, I have no doubt that then we go to the constituents and try for provoke them into some kind of an uprising, some kind of a civil disobedience in their behalf. That's what they're going to do now. They couldn't do this previously, but they're going to do this now because that constituency fee where they come to them, that where they come to them, is not going to be coming any longer, and they're going to lose um this this kind of position where they occupy now. They're gonna lose it. Are they going to take the losing, like sitting and just accept them as it is? It's no. So then when they were threatened by this boundary delimitation, this constituency creation, which is going to redundant them and create new ones or parallel ones that we get for operate with them, they're going to feel threatened and then they go back to their constituent and say, I have been doing this for you all these years. I can't do this for you anymore because this is the situation. And try for whip them into a spasm. We go make them for react, something we have not been do, where people have been on the call for all along. But that's absolutely up to them. Finally, for rest this case, the people census, as they call them, has not had the participation or the support of the people. It's not been the case at all. It's all been about election machination, election engineering. How do I win the next election? You have not delivered. This is just a fact. You have not delivered. And the fact that you have not delivered, it puts you in a precarious situation. How do you get this precarious situation to be solved? How do you get it to be solved? Except by lying to the people. You're going to have to lie to the people. And when you lie to the people, sometimes it doesn't work well. It doesn't work well. And then the people then go get for come back at you and ask questions. Remember, elections, for goodness sake, is about results. It's about messaging. In other words, which you will not do. In we own situation, we clearly understand them. It's about electricity or energy, if you were like, generally speaking. To this day, 4 years on, we've not been able to solve the issue of energy. But yet, we want to blame a party we been in a power 4 years ago. If it makes sense to you, it doesn't make sense to me. I know it's easy for the detractors then for continue for blame people like us because we not blame the one the way they want for blame. But for 4 years, for goodness sake, una self with the support. Either you are ignorant of the facts or you just plain stupid. It's got to be one of the two. Either you are ignorant, you just not understand that 4 years on, all what you promised you did not. But you still want to blame somebody who been in a power 4 years when we not even get power now for 4 years, and in fact, then at the back foot, and you get everything else to your advantage. But then you want to let people and blame them. Oh, no, they're not being given power. You kept the sheep. You say the sheep not be necessary. You allow the sheep for go. Only when you realize the knockdown effect and you bring them back can quickly. But yet you're not able to maintain that for 4 years. Water, you're not able. The economy is tanking. We people them are suffering. Poverty is on the up. These are all just facts. But then you are making all sorts of excuses, blaming everybody else but you. How disingenuous can you be? You can't solve the problem. The most humble thing that you can do is to come back to the Sierra Leonean people with hands out, contrite in spirit, appealing to them, telling them that I have failed you. Give me another opportunity. Because lying does not help. Because either you take the same people the way you want for let them back you up as fools. And for let people realize at some point say you they take them for be a fool. Bruh, the outcome not easy. No, they like that at all. That includes me, and I'm part of that culture. And that culture they are coming from. I know we'll speak about the idiots. Waited today, they call me foreigner. Some don't realize the facts. Some of them have realized the facts. I am no foreigner. Then they try to play a political game with that, even though it's not working. I ain't no foreigner. I'm a bleeding Sierra Leonean. And I can hate for use this language because I believe that no Sierra Leonean is more Sierra Leonean than a Sierra Leonean. But sometimes you can want to say that when you come to with geography and with demography, that I am more Sierra Leonean than some of you. But as a strong patriot, I refuse for use such language. So I take that back. And I know say some of you don't realize the fact, but una just they dwell on that. Some of the people became abusive on social media, but we're too clever. When I say clever, I mean we people we make we own mistakes, of course. Yeah, like as a coming up child, truancy, dropouts, and etc. But in the end, we did make up and we understand what in schooling mean, and we use that fully to your advantage. And when people then try for misuse this opportunity, we'll get what they call social media. Like some people don't understand them at all, and they feel say they can get away with all kind of a rubbish. We just teach few of them a lesson that they will never forget. For probably the rest of them stay on social media. That there are rules that govern, and this goes to people who have been abused on a daily basis. Probably if you're in Freetown, maybe you can get away with abusing people the way they are. But if you're in the Western world and you are misusing this facility, trust me, just like I did, and get some people there for zip up, for shut up. If they want for talk, come on, let's have a conversation. It's not everything we have to be abusive about. You don't have to abuse me or me abuse you. You don't have to abuse my parents or my family simply because you disagree with me. If you do that, you are absolutely wrong, and there are rules that protect people like me as a content producer on social media. You probably don't understand that because you can just come and can't talk and beat pot cover and that local way how you can go about them. But I've gone through the process, and there are files open. There are people that have been warned. There are doors that have been knocked at. There are warnings that have been given. If you don't adhere to that, you get a criminal record. I don't want one. Though they accuse me, say I don't work. Since I come to this country, I've been working from day one. That's why I'm living. You know, I'm okay. Could be worse, but I'm okay. And thank God for His mercies and His grace. Yesterday, by the way, not be my birthday. But I not make a loud noise about them. And I wish myself, I just tempted and wish myself a happy birthday since I'm live. It's a mixed feeling. Like I talk about the passing away of Yambafari, a man who introduced me in a community as a complete stranger among big one them. It was difficult for some people to accept me, but when people the way you respect introduce you to a certain community, then therefore open up to you. And I believe, say, as a consequence of that, over the many years, I have proven that I am worthy of the friendship and the respect which a great man who is now passed to the great beyond, may his soul rest in peace, gave me. Ladies and gentlemen, every good thing must come to an end. Every beginning has got an end. Everything that exists will come to an end. Every life will expire. And on this basis, on the midterm census, the government has done theirs. Then they make all kind of excuses. But the people, the will of the people, will in the end prevail. I have no doubt about this yesterday, nor do I today, nor do I going into the future. And on this basis, keep your eyes and ears open. There are many programs to come. We probably might have Alfred Peter Conte. We might have Dr. Richard Conte. We might have Dr. Samora. We might have Chernoba, who doesn't really want to talk. And who knows? Ernest by Koroma, the former president, is on the ticket of appearance. That does not stop us from keeping the invitation open to members of the ruling class who take it that this platform is one-sided. Of course it's not. Of course they know that. Of course we are critical of the same people that we talk about. We are much critical about government because it's a constitutional duty. It's a civic responsibility. Don't take it personal. And in fact, if you do take it personal, then I challenge you to a contest. Take up the opportunity. Appear on the platform today. I am not going to be putting words in your mouth. Take the opportunity to challenge me if that is what you so believe, that we are one-sided, that we are against you, that we are not patriotic. Take the opportunity. And this is for the ruling party. Francis Benkai Fala, I admired you most, spoke of you at most. I use your jargons, your quotations as my spiritual beginning every morning. I tweeted them out. But yet you've let me down. And as a Sierra Leonean, I feel deeply let down. And I take a different view, a completely different view. Minister of Information, a man I've spoken very little of. Of course, he's doing his job. I do have my reservations about him. I haven't spoken much about him as I've done about Francis Benkai Fala, but I do have reservations. And you ask them, come on, let's talk about it. Fambulem, let nobody know fool we. If them people are then take exception to which you would talk now, why not they take the opportunity for Kamle we can question them because not they put word in their mouth. And when we come, if they not like the way we conduct the interview, if now wire we put on them, like wire them up, microphones and etc., they can unwire themselves and walk out. But don't look for the simple option and think say you get people that will go just simply follow you. Pretty soon, there will be a consensus on your rule for 5 years. We have an idea, but we'll keep them open. Watch out next week, hopefully, we will have the social and justice man, Mr. Abdul Fatoma. He's overdue on the platform. Of course, I've been down for a while. Superman has been away on holidays for 3 weeks. I was doing it all alone. And I couldn't even continue because I was engaged with many other things. So most of the programs were repeated until this formal one. But we are back stronger than ever on the T&N TV media empire, where we believe that information is power. Empowering people with information so that choices that they make is based on information. And on this basis, I beg Fambulem for taking a leave. It's been a T&N production. I've been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Chroma. And at this point in time, I'm sure say you will allow me for take your leave. I wish everybody a pleasant new week as we begin on Monday. Goodbye and good night. Good night. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until then, I will see you again on a subsequent program. Bye.